Hey everyone, so I am here with Patrick, and Patrick is somebody who just is looking for a trim, right? He does not want to get his hair cut too short. He just wants me to go easy on it. I said, don't worry, Patrick. I am not going to butcher this. I'm not going to shave it super close, just a trim, right? We like the length. You're in good hands. So if you're a customer who wants to grow their hair out and you kind of are afraid to go in to your barber, your stylist, and you think they're going to chop off too much hair, you can simply tell them, look, less is more. I don't want you to use the clippers on it. Like, I don't want you to cut tons of hair. I really just want you to use scissors and really do scissor over comb throughout the entire thing and just maybe clean up the ends. And as you can see here, I'm really just focusing on some point cutting to give it a little more texture throughout the ends here. I haven't even held any hair in my fingers yet. So this to me is a great technique. And you can even do this yourself at home. If you're looking to just kind of clean up the ends a little bit, just hold the hair out horizontally with the comb and just chop into it like that. Just don't cut too much hair off. And this is a great way to kind of add some texture to it, especially if you got a haircut recently and you're saying to yourself, man, why is my hair so heavy? It's not laying properly. Like, it could use a little more texture. You can easily just do this yourself at home and, point cut into your hair, and it may help a little bit. Obviously, the professional is the first choice, but if they can't even cut your hair properly, then sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands. So right now, the key to having your hair grow out or make it look a little more presentable is making sure it looks neat around the ear. You could still have the hair longer, but if it looks real shaggy over the ear, and if it looks like it's grown out in some places, that alone can make it look like it's just kind of messy. So by cleaning up these areas around the ear, the nape area, that kind of stuff, it actually helps make the haircut look a bit more neat, right? It makes it look a little more neat as opposed to, like, you can see into down here, like the neck hair and stuff. Yeah, we got to clean all that up. But you know, if we clean up the neck hair, the hair around the ear, certain other areas on the head, like that you may think need to be cleaning, the corners, then that alone can make a haircut look like it's freshly cut. So if you don't want to even have much cut off the sides or so, you can just say, hey, look, just clean up around the ears, around the back of the neck. I'm really trying to keep it the length it's at, maybe thin it out a little bit, but like, I would be careful because I've seen numerous times where stylists or barbers may end up cutting way too much. And if you're someone who actually has experienced this, when you go in and you say, just give me a trim, and they end up shaving like way too much hair, cutting way too much hair, let me know in the comments below, because I'm really always curious to see how often this does happen still. You would think nowadays that professionals can understand what just a trim means and skim the ends, or I like the length. You really be surprised, right? So now what I have to do is I have to transition and start to kind of create a little bit of a connection between the back and the top. And as you can see, for the most part, this whole haircut is just simply point cutting, right? It's mostly point cutting, looking for areas that may be a little unbalanced, areas that may need a little more texture. Because sometimes if you try to grow your hair out, you may like the length, but it seems like it may be just too solid, right? Too solid of a look. It may be just too thick in some areas. So by going in and just kind of point cutting and focusing, that's why I'm twisting the hair here. This is a great technique. This is something you definitely can do at home. If you feel your hair is just way too heavy and it needs a little more texture, then you can make these little twists and do these little chomps. Now, I'm only chomping in halfway. I'm not going in and cutting the whole section, because then you'll cut your whole section of hair off. And trust me, you don't want to do that. I'm just kind of cutting into it slightly, right? So like not even halfway into it, I'm cutting. Now I'm doing my famous kind of point cutting where I just rake my fingers back and just go in freehand. Again, this is a do it at your own risk type of situation, but what it's doing is it's really helping with the overall shape, right? And so far, I've used no clippers. I haven't really held any hair out, right? Now I'm just going in and trying to feel what is going to be, the right texture. Now you can see this front hairline. Unfortunately, he was victim to getting a shape up and having a barber, cut his hair out in the front, the hairline, which I don't know why barbers just think they can do that to anyone. They could just go in and shave someone's hairline right away. I think it's awful. But you'll see in the front, he's been a victim of that, so I told him to grow it out. But here you can see how neat it looks. Yes, it's still a little textured, still a little kind of messy, but it also is very structured at the same time, right? And that's what I like about that. So yeah, see those little hairs in the front? Those all need to grow out. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply a styling product. I think it's going to be talc, because talc is probably, I mean, you can use anything, but talc, especially on finer hair, I think it's going to be kind of giving the best result, in my opinion, because it's going to absorb into the hair nicely. It's going to give you a lot of texture. It's also great for fine hair. But let me know in the comments below what you thought of this haircut. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.